Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, and to my right, to your left, Jason Cameron's joining us. Hey, Jason, how are you?
Very good, very good. I'm doing great today. Doing great.
Happy Monday. How was your weekend?
Weekend was very quiet.
Nice.
Very quiet, very restful.
Yeah. Well, when you're working so much, it's good to do that. And especially with the sun going down so early, makes you feel like hibernating, keeping at home.
Yes, it does. I have gone into straight up hibernation mode. I do not move around too much on the weekends anymore.
Well, that's good. Good. Well, it'll be great to talk sports then. I'm sure you saw a ton of football on the weekend. Another really exciting NFL Sunday.
Oh, yeah, man. Plenty of games with playoff implications to them, and plenty of very, very close-fought games, too, as well. Like, it was good Sunday for football.
Sure was, yeah. Well, we're in the midst of the Monday Nighter right now. It's 17-all between the Rams and the Bucks. It's been a really tightly contested game. Both teams are really right in that playoff mix that you just mentioned. Both teams need a win to keep near the top of their division, and it's been fun to watch. Both teams are really explosive offensively and defensively, really tight. I was really excited and looking forward to this matchup.
Oh yeah, again, playoff implications with these two teams as well, and the Rams, who they're contesting against with the Seattle Seahawks, the Cardinals. Like, that division is just ridiculous in and of itself. It really is utterly ridiculous. So this game, you could say for the Rams, might be a must-win.
Yeah, no kidding. Cooper Kupp was incredible for the Rams in the first half. He had 9 catches, 109 yards. Antonio Brown touched the ball, I think, 10 or 11 times in that first half. They really started utilizing that weapon finally. It was pretty cool to see both those guys go off.
Oh yeah. Like, finally Antonio's getting his chance, and he is not squandering it. I don't believe he's dropped the ball yet. No. So yeah, no, he's playing fantastic. Let's hope all the other stuff you can keep that under control and just play
out. Yeah. This is a historic night. You and I talked a couple weeks ago of the first NFL broadcast with an all black broadcasting team. Tonight is the first NFL game with an all broadcasting officiating team. So pretty exciting news. They decided to put these guys together. I'll list off their names, and we'll talk a little bit about it being another historic game. Jerome Boger is the referee, Barry Anderson the umpire, the down judge is Julian Mapp, line judge Carl Johnson, field judge Dale Shaw, side judge is Anthony Jeffries, and the back judge is Greg Steed. Pretty cool that the NFL is doing really great stuff like this and making us aware. I was really impressed with hearing about this today. Yeah,
I'm very impressed that they're actually putting this forth and doing these types of things. Kind of funny, actually, if you think back, that this actually hasn't come about earlier. It's kind of weird how that hasn't happened yet, but I'm glad that they've done it now, and hopefully they continue to do these sorts of things in the future.
There was a really good story on TSN. I recommend people going and taking a look at it. There was note of the first black official in any of the North American major sports was the NFL. A guy by the name of Burrow Toller back in 1965 was the very first guy. Broke the color barrier there, and it's taken 50-something years for this to happen. But the members of this crew are super, super experienced. They've got a combined 89 seasons of NFL experience and have worked on 6 Super Bowls. So really great guy. A lot of these guys do work together, but it's just never worked out that it was a completely all-black officials team.
Yeah, well, it's nice to see that that's finally come to fruition, and it's finally here and now, and hopefully they continue to do these types of things, like I said before, in the future, for sure.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, you mentioned the Seahawks battling up with the Rams at the NFC West. They had a big 28-21 win on Thursday. Was great for them to finally get on track. They had lost a couple games. They weren't looking very good, but that was a very decisive, great win over the Cardinals.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you knew Russell Westbrook. Russell. No. Hold on a second. The Seahawks quarterback there. You knew that he was not going to continue to keep on a losing streak. You knew that.
Yeah.
You knew that. You knew that he would finally get it together and the team would follow behind him like they have. And it was only just a matter of time until they kind of got that back on track and got back onto their winning ways.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. Yeah, he played great. Lockett, Metcalf, and Carlos Hyde all had big games. Their defense, bent a little bit, but definitely stepped up when they needed to, and they finally stopped playing that COVID defense, and really was able to secure the win. Unfortunately, Greg Olsen was placed on injured reserve today, and he has a foot injury that needs some extra weeks, so he'll be out. But he hasn't been a huge factor for them so far. They've been utilizing a lot more of their wideouts instead of their tight ends. Seahawks play the Eagles next on Monday Night Football, and the Cardinals play the Patriots Sunday morning coming up. So, big games. We'll see how this game shakes out. Looks like Rams are trying to march in to score. Still 17-all. 5.5 minutes left in the third here. So, that was a huge win for the Hawks. Super impressive. And, I'm glad that they were able to stop that log jam from happening. It was getting a little scary. All the teams had caught up to them. And now they've got a lead, half-game lead. Rams just got another touchdown. So 23-17, Cam Akers with a 4-yard TD catch. The Sunday nighter, did you get a chance to watch a lot of that game? The KC Raiders game was pretty impressive, really back and forth game.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. It was amazing because, well, unfortunately for the Raiders, they left too much time on the clock for Mahomes. You're not supposed to do that.
No, I know. I kept seeing that clock, and they were just getting too close. They couldn't run it down enough. Yeah, it was too bad. They definitely gave them too much time.
Yeah, no, they did. And then, so once Patrick got the ball back, he was just like, okay, showtime. And he did the showtime, man. What else can I say about that, man? He's just absolutely incredible. He really is. When the chips are down, you can count on him to make magic, and that's what he did.
Yeah, we've been talking about him so much this year, the $500 million man, and you're like, hey, if there was ever a guy worth it, he is, and you knew that he was going to be able to pull that off once they got the ball and had that opportunity to march down the field. It was, I think it was only a minute 43 left on the clock. 75 yards, 7 plays, boom. Kelsey was his big target as usual. Had a big game with 8 catches, 127 yards, and a touchdown. And Hill was great as usual with 110 yards himself. He's got great weapons, and he's able to just get out of that pocket, keep looking downfield, and finding those empty, open guys.
Yes, and also too, his mobility is key. He can get away from the pressure, because they were blitzing him a lot in that last quarter, a lot. They brought the pressure, and he was just able to escape outside the pocket and get the ball downfield. Time and time again. Actually.
The Raiders had handed the Chiefs their only loss. Why do you think the Raiders were able to give the Chiefs so much trouble this year?
Well, I think the Raiders, as a team, as a collective, like how sometimes you get up for certain teams. I think the Raiders absolutely get up for Kansas City. They know how good they are, and they want to put their best foot forward. And it all starts with their quarterback, David Carr. And David Carr, just magnificent, man. Has great games against the Kansas City Chiefs. You know, like he got him the first time, but Mahomes is like, you're not going to get us the second time, though. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
You're going to get one.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Yeah, Derek Carr. You said David Carr, but Derek Carr, yeah, that's the guy. Yeah. It was a matchup of tight ends, the two top tight ends this year. Kelsey, I mentioned. It was, pretty impressive to see. Darren Waller, man, he's having a fantastic year, and he's such a weapon for them. Carr just utilizes him all the time, looking downfield and just keeps dumping it off to him whenever he doesn't see anybody else open. It's been pretty incredible year for both Kelsey and Waller.
Oh, yeah. Carr dumped it off to Waller going across the field where not supposed to do that. But Waller was always his outlet. The guy is huge.
Yeah.
He's massive. He just runs over people like they're not really even there.
Yeah.
So he's a great asset to have on any football team. Both of them are.
Yeah, and even Jason Witten, the old man, 17th year in the NFL, and he got a touchdown late to put them ahead, but they weren't able to hold them off. And Chiefs are still marching, looking really good. That NFC picture is, starting to really take shape. The Saints are really, definitely super strong, 8-2. We got Seahawks 7-3, Packers 7-3. Eagles are leading that NFC East at 3-6-1, and then we've got Bucks here. They're 7-3, but not sure where they're going to end up placing tonight. Rams are 6-3 going into tonight, and Cardinals are 6-4, and then a lot of other teams down the way. I noticed one thing about Derek Carr last night that really made me laugh. A lot of times when he was coming up to the line, he was yelling out NBA players' names that were coinciding with the plays. He mentioned Chris Mullin, he mentioned Pistol Pete, and he said James Harden quite a bit. I was like, James Harden, no, you got to know that play is hold on to the ball, do not pass it, just run it. I thought that was pretty hilarious, him calling out all these NBA players' names.
Yeah, of course. The Harden play is just like, hey, get out of my way and watch me cook. That's what a Harden play is.
Yeah, no kidding. That's James for him. Yeah. So, unfortunately, a huge injury to talk about. Joe Burrow was carted off the field yesterday. He's had a fantastic rookie season. Just absolutely shredded his left knee. He's got damage to his ACL, MCL, PCL, meniscus. They say definitely looks like at least a year away from the game. Probably won't play for quite significant amount of time. Really sad to see a guy with so much promise. He had such a fantastic start to the year and out that badly with a bad injury.
Well, when I saw the play, and they didn't show too many replays, it was bad, to say the least. It was bad. He got folded up like an accordion in a way that you're not supposed to fold. So, you know what? At least with our modern-day medicine, he should be able to recuperate. The question is, with a catastrophic knee injury of that magnitude, is he going to be the same guy? Is he going to be the same player? Is he going to have to change his game because of the injury now? Those are things that we'll actually have to look forward to in the future after his year of rehab. But hopefully he can come back stronger and better than ever after he rehabs this injury.
He had an NFL record and the most pass attempts per game by a rookie in NFL history, over 40 attempts per game this season. He beat out Andrew Luck, Carson Wentz, Derek Carr, Sam Bradford, and Peyton Manning. Most among all NFL passers this season. Were they utilizing him too much? After Mixon went down, they didn't have a running game. Do you think they should have tried to keep better protection of him?
Well, I'm always actually for better protection of any of your quarterbacks because look at the past. Look at what happened to Andrew Luck. They didn't give him any protection, and he only lasted 6 or 7 seasons, and he was done. Right? Yeah. So obviously, protection's at a premium for these quarterbacks. You have to protect them, or things like this will happen. And even if you do have the great protection, a great offensive line, things like this can still happen. But it's a lot less if you have the right kind of people protecting your star player, your quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, I mean, football's a tough game, and you got to be protecting a guy, especially a franchise QB #1 overall pick and Heisman Trophy winner and all that. You mentioned when they weren't showing a lot of replays and they put him on the cart. I noticed that his former teammates that all play on Washington from Ohio State came over. Terry McLaurin, Dwayne Haskins, and Chase Young all came over, gave him a pat, said, "Good luck. Sorry to see you go." It was quite a moment there, and I could see how upset he was. But it was nice that even the guys on the opposite side of the field remembered him for college, came over and gave him a pat.
Of course, man, because at the end of the day, nobody really wants to see catastrophic injuries of that magnitude on the field. Nobody wants to see that. Everybody has like a career that they want to see develop and a family that they have to take care of and money they got to make. Like injuries like that go beyond football. And so all the guys pull for the guy so that he can come through and continue playing,
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, switching gears, a big overtime win, Tennessee and Baltimore. That game just kept swinging back and forth, back and forth. Baltimore ended up tying that game late to push it into overtime with a field goal. And then Tennessee started marching down the field. And then it looked like, no, maybe we're going to kick a field goal. And then, nope, just handed to Derrick Henry. He runs at 29 yards for the winning score. It looked like a beast as always. That guy's pretty unstoppable.
Every time I see him run, I'm just amazed at how much bigger he looks than everybody else. like he's so big, yet he's so fast. Yeah. And he can do these cuts. It is amazing to see that man run. It really is. And when he busted that run, I'm like, wow, that's over. They're not catching him, and they're not stopping him either. It was a great game played by both teams, man. Really good game.
Yeah. He was only 13 rushes for 37 yards at the half. Baltimore had kept him contained, and then he ended up getting 96 yards in the second half in overtime. He's got by far the most yardage in the second half in overtime, 540 yards in that second half. He just seems to get better as the game wears on. Usually you see a guy getting his 15, 20 touches, he starts wearing down, but not this guy. He's just unstoppable. And just the size and speed. We're just seeing such a revolution of these athletes. They're just getting bigger and faster all the time. It's crazy.
It's almost like he has extra muscle just to beat up on you for the second half, where he goes, "Can I just put on that extra body armor muscle? All right, you guys are going to get hurt."
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, no kidding. Did you see the touchdown by A.J. Brown? He caught it at about the 10-yard line. Two guys in front of him. He just muscled them, pushed them, kept working, got himself into the end zone. He's a beast as well.
Well, yeah, and he also, too, you have to remember A.J. Brown, if I remember correctly, played in college with DK Metcalf. Yes, and they were known as the NWO, the Nasty Wideouts. Those guys were massive human beings. They were big people. And so for him to just push little people into the end zone with him, I'm not surprised to see that. I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Imagine the opposing teams when those two guys walked out into the field. They were just like, "Oh man, this isn't going to be fair." Like, come on, they must have just annihilated their opponents through college.
Of course, especially let's say if you're a defensive back and you're 5'10", you go, "Well, that's not right. That's not right at all. What are you, 6'6" and a monster? Like, you're gonna eat me." That's so good, man. Yeah, hey, coach.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, so good, so great.
Yeah.
Another game that went into overtime were the Colts and the Packers. Another great game between two veterans at quarterback. This game went back and forth. The Colts defense is really, really great this year, and I think that was the difference. They forced 4 turnovers in the game, and they ended up winning 34-31. Yeah, Phillip Rivers was right on jumping ship and going to the Colts. It's really been a resurgence for him, and another really great game to watch.
Oh, fantastic game to watch. I'm going to be honest. I was kind of surprised that the Colts pulled it off. But at the same time, their defense, like you said, came up big, forcing 4 turnovers. But they needed every one of those turnovers because they only beat that team by 3 points. Yeah, when you think of it like that, it's like, wow, man. Like Green Bay, their offense is deadly and dangerous, man. So hats off to Indy. Big win for Indy.
I heard, unfortunately, today that there was some death threats sent to Marquez Valdes-Scantling. He was throwing the ball in overtime, went to make his break, and unfortunately didn't put the ball secure enough. A fumble was caused. That's what led to the Colts winning. There was death threats levied against him yesterday and today. Pretty sick when guys have to get on social media and do that kind of thing to a guy. It's just a game, right? He's trying his best, obviously.
Yeah. Also, too, this is not soccer. Really? Like this. Hey, man, I understand that you have passion for your team and all that sort of stuff, but hey, don't take it that far. There's no need for that. There's never any need for that. Ever.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised, pretty shocked. Yeah, haven't heard that kind of thing for a really long time. So, yeah, hopefully they can figure out who it was and, arrest them and stop them from pulling off stupid crap like that again. Steelers stayed 10-0. Only 17 teams in the modern era have started 10-0. They are the 17th, and 10 of them out of those 16 before have made the Super Bowl. So Steelers are looking strong. Obviously, looking at a bye, quite possibly, to start the playoffs. And Big Ben looked good. And our boy from Abbotsford, Chase Claypool, another touchdown. He's never lost as a pro, and he's got 10 touchdowns in 10 games. I'd say Rookie of the Year might be wrapped up for Mr. Claypool.
Yes, Rookie of the Year, and also to his touchdown. His touchdown. It wasn't a dance. It was blowing out the candles for a birthday cake. I was just like, wow, that's a great celebration. Because yes, it was a happy birthday to Chase Claypool because he's probably going to win Rookie of the Year, just like you said. Yeah. So I think he's blowing out the candles just a little bit early, but maybe not so much. You know,
it was Juju's birthday. Did you know that? That's what it was. Yeah, it was Juju's birthday. So he was like, okay, let's celebrate by making a little cake with candles and we'll blow it out in the circle.
Yes, he did. He didn't cut Juju any cake, though. That was a little bit different, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, the Steelers are looking unbelievably unstoppable this year. Big Ben had a great game, 267 yards, 2 TDs. Deontay Johnson had 12 catches, 111 yards. They played Baltimore on Thanksgiving, and Baltimore was given some really bad news today. I think about 8 players tested positive for COVID, and 2 of their running backs are going to be out. They've got J.K. Dobbins and Mark Ingram are both out. Will not be able to play because of the COVID this week. And so I think Lamar Jackson's just going to have to be quarterback and running back and just wear both hats and just hut the ball and just make a decision. Am I going to throw? Am I going to run? Don't even worry about running backs in the backfield this year. This game.
Yeah. He's just going to pull off his best Madden impersonation and just be running and throwing all over the field. He can do that. Yeah. He can pull that off. He's that good.
Yeah, he is that good. So, yeah, maybe they won't miss a beat, but it's tough. I don't know all the other players. They didn't post that anywhere yet today, but, they've been hit by COVID pretty bad. And facing an undefeated Steelers team, they're in a little tough, I think. The Saints, they definitely are. The Saints kept rolling even without Drew Brees. It was a huge game for Taysom Hill. They call him the Swiss Army knife because he comes in and he does so many things. He had never attempted 2 passes in a game. He had just come in, do a little running play, do a catch, different things. But this game, he actually looked pretty solid. He did have 2 running touchdowns himself, but he actually looked composed back there. And Michael Thomas was his favorite target, and he just kept throwing to him all game long. And yeah, they played well. They had a big victory, 24-9.
Yeah, they had a big victory, but let's be honest, they were playing the Falcons. Wasn't that hard. All right?
Right.
I love my Falcons, but yeah, they are not very good this year. And Taysom Hill, he did very well. They actually let him pass the football in the pocket, let him do some work, and he did great work. And also too, Michael Thomas finally got around to catching some balls. So
Yeah.
Great win for the Saints, man. Good stuff.
Michael Thomas actually had more yardage in this game than he had in all the games combined this season. He had 1 less catch and more yards than he had the whole year. And Drew Brees must have been like, hey, man, where the hell were you the rest of the year? Like, come on. Hey, you're showing up for my backup guy? What's going on here? That's not fair.
Yeah, well, he's probably looking at Drew going, well, I don't know what happened to you, but you got injured. I'm sorry. I'm just turning it on right now. So, yeah, it's good to see that Michael getting back on track.
The Saints are actually 6-0 in the last 2 seasons with Drew Brees hurt. They won 5 games last year with Bridgewater under center and 1 game this year with it. Do you think the Saints can survive if Brees can't make it back?
Oh, yeah, maybe, like the only thing that I'm worried about with Taysom Hill is his fumbles. And he did have a fumble against the Falcons in that game. Didn't make much of a difference because, like I said, the Falcons are garbage. But he needs to really shore up those fumbles, man. And that's the one thing that I see that could be that could downgrade the team is him fumbling the football and giving it back to the opposition.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely got to hold on to the ball. Saints defense, man, they're solid. I don't think I've seen the Saints defense this good in a really long time. I'm super impressed by them. You did mention the Falcons, but a lot of games this year they've really stepped up and looked great.
Yes, and also too opportunistic. They've had some great takeaways too with that defense. They have looked very solid this year, no doubt.
Alvin Kamara had a relatively pedestrian game for him, just not a huge amount of work, but he was able to get yardage enough to get a record by himself. He's the first player in NFL history to have 500-plus rushing and receiving yards in each of his first 4 seasons. So it's good they didn't have to burn him out this game. Still get a nice victory. And he's been super impressive those 4 years, and cool to see him get an NFL record.
Oh yeah, and he's your ultimate utility running back. Like he's kind of like a LaDainian Tomlinson. You know what I mean? Like he can catch out of the backfield. He can do so many things for you. He's just an ultimate competitor and ultimate X factor when he's out there. You have no idea just how he's going to affect the game, but he will affect the game in a positive way for his team.
Yeah, definitely. Tua Tagovailoa kind of fell back down to earth. Had a little bit of a hiccup this game and was benched. Ryan Fitzpatrick came in and sort of engineered a comeback, but threw a pick in the end zone to finish it off. They did say today that Tua will remain a starter coming into this week, but I guess you got to expect a rookie quarterback not to be able to win all the games. So he came down to earth a little bit, and Denver got the upset win.
Yeah, you know what? Hey, he's a rookie quarterback. So some games are not going to be his game, and this was one of those games. They just couldn't pull it out against the Broncos. But at least Fitzpatrick is a very capable backup. and almost got them to overtime. Almost.
The Dolphins play the winless Jets on Sunday, so it probably doesn't matter whoever plays. They're going to be able to, pretty much guarantee a win. So Jets are bad, 0-10, and they tried. They had a game against the Chargers, but Chargers got their second win of the year. Herbert looked great. Keenan Allen had a huge game, and Jets are really going hard for that number 1 draft pick.
They're going to get it. They're going to get it. You know what I mean? Like, they're just like, no, we got this locked up. You see our head coach? He doesn't know what he's doing. This is fantastic.
No doubt. It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah.
The Cowboys-Vikings game was actually good. America's team ended up winning 31-28. The catch by CeeDee Lamb in the end zone was probably my highlight of the weekend, maybe one of the highlights of the year. Just to be able to turn his body and go straight out and be able to catch that ball, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, man, he's going to be one of their receivers for the future for sure. You pull out catches like that, it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm going to say gorgeous. It was a gorgeous catch. Gorgeous.
No kidding. Sure was. Yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. Adam Thielen had a great game, 2 touchdowns. What about his catch in the corner of the end zone, the other side? One-handed grab, absolutely phenomenal catch by him. And, he did all he could to try to help them win. Yeah.
It's Thielen and Cook's team for sure. And Thielen did his best to try to pull out this win, but somehow, some way, how about them Cowboys? they pull out a win.
Yeah. Thielen was placed on the COVID list this week. I don't know if that means he's got it or he had some contact. They didn't say positive test. They just said placed on the COVID list. So hopefully for the Vikings, he's available. But that was kind of a shock for me today.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like it could have been that he may have been in contact with somebody, or the testing was inconclusive up to the point so that they still have to do testing to figure out if he has it or not. So hopefully he can play.
Dallas, Ezekiel Elliott had 21 carries, 103 yards. Pollard had 5 carries, 60 yards, and a big touchdown. On the Viking side, Kirk Cousins had 314 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Cook was really great, 27 carries, 115 yards, a touchdown. He had also 5 catches for 45 yards. Thielen had 123 yards through the air, 8 catches and 2 touchdowns, like I mentioned. And Jefferson looks fantastic. Another 86 yards and a touchdown. It was the Vikings team is impressive, but I was surprised Dallas pulled out the victory there.
Yeah, it is kind of surprising because literally with all those numbers that you just said, normally any other team would win that game. But the Cowboys just managed to do a bit more than the Vikings could in this particular game. Got the win.
Yeah, the battle between Houston and New England was good, and Texans beat the Patriots 27-20. Texans are only 3-7, but the Patriots down at 4-6. That's their worst record for a long time in the Belichick era. And I don't know. Patriots were starting to look good, like they could put it together, and then they've been knocked back a little bit now. And Deshaun Watson looked great. That one touchdown run he had where he just ran over the guys and pushed it in, that was super impressive.
Oh yeah, like he flexed on the defense right there. He showed them it's like, no, I'm younger, I'm stronger, and I'm better. So that's where I'm going to get in. No, the Texans look fantastic. They really did. And the Patriots, unfortunately, you know what? This might be a recurring theme for a couple seasons now. This might not just be a one-season thing, and then they can fix it and be off to the races again. I think this might be a thing for the Patriots for a while.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It looks like the mighty have fallen for sure. Mm-hmm. I mentioned that San Diego New York Jets game. I do want to mention that my brother from another mother, Javon Campbell, from Scarborough, Ontario. Got his first pick six touchdown of his career. Huge touchdown for the Chargers, and great to see the Canadian boy in the end zone for the first time. And that football is definitely going to go up on his mantle, probably with his parents. Yeah, pretty cool moment.
Yeah, man. Like I think that he's from your mother's side, right? But anyways, but no, that was awesome. That was awesome to see that you got his first pick six, and it's great to see the Canadian talent really stepping up in the NFL.
Yeah. The Jets sucked as usual, but Detroit sucked a lot more. They got shut out 20-0 by Carolina. Detroit, I don't know what the heck happened to them, but man, that was a pretty pitiful performance to get shut out and never even had a sniff. They actually attempted one field goal and it just went complete sideways right away. They had some really brutal plays in that game. I watched the highlights and I just thought, oh man, that's 10 minutes I'm never getting back in my lifetime.
they couldn't do anything. They literally couldn't do anything. Like it was surreal to see, because you're like, are they really this bad? Like the Jets are bad, but you're not supposed to play like the Jets. You're not supposed to be that bad. You're not supposed to play that bad. So I don't know. Maybe it was something was completely off with the team. Something was off. But the Panthers stomped them, as they should, for any team that's going to play like that miserably and that bad.
Yeah, it was sad. It was pathetic, yeah. Thanksgiving Thursday, we got a triple header. I'm pretty excited about that. I'm going to be up early, getting some DraftKings picks in, and going to be eating turkey, watching all the games. The first game, we've got Detroit taking on Houston at 9:30. Hopefully Detroit can score some points in this game, and it'll be something interesting to watch. Any comments on that first game?
Well, yeah, hopefully Detroit has got it together and they can actually, I don't know, play the game of football. So that'd be cool. And hopefully now that Deshaun Watson seems to have gotten his legs underneath him, seems to have got some momentum, maybe he can pull off some more magic in this particular game. I'm definitely looking at Deshaun and hoping that he can do something special in this game.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm excited for that. Detroit always plays Thanksgiving, and so does Dallas. Dallas will be playing Washington. That's the 1:30 game. Interdivision rivalry. Those guys play each other a ton, and still battling for the top of that East. Nobody's won more than 3 games there. So, yeah, it should be a good battle between these two teams.
Yeah, Alex Smith has been playing very well for Washington. So I can imagine that there should be actually a very good and well-contested game between these two teams.
And the late game has the Steelers and Baltimore, as I mentioned earlier. Steelers 10-0, Baltimore 6-4. Yeah, I expect the Steelers to probably dominate, especially with all the COVID troubles that Baltimore's having. And they said there's new COVID protocols that are actually starting on Thursday. And if you're not actually on the field, you have to wear a mask now on the sideline. So as soon as you come off the field, you got to put a mask on. No player is allowed to be on the sideline. No coach. Anybody that's on the sideline has to have a mask. They said they're getting a little bit too many COVID cases and just being a little lax, and they're getting stricter.
Well, again, like I've said before, so many variables that you cannot account for when you travel from state to state. And you go from hotel to hotel, and you go from arena to arena.
Yeah.
I am not surprised to see the problems that they're having. They refuse to do a bubbling system. So this is what you now have to deal with. And this is what you're going to have to deal with for the incumbent for the next season, for at least a little bit until the vaccine is sorted out and then situated so that we actually have something that's workable. But this is going to be a thing. You can put in as many measures as you like, but you're still going to have these COVID things pop up amongst players and staff. It's still going to be there for sure.
Yeah. So, it was a fun weekend. This game's got a little under 12 minutes left, 24-17 so far for the Rams. And I'll give an update before we finish for the night. I want to move on to some NBA news. Did you remember that training camps start next week?
I think I heard about that.
That's
And I know
insane.
that free agency has been absolutely bonkers right now.
Yeah,
Crazy.
okay. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about it. I want to mention our partners and sponsors first. Anchor FM has been a fantastic partner with Complete Sports Media. They are just really great at being able to post on multiple podcast platforms for us, and they call themselves the easiest place to make a podcast. So just go to Anchor FM, give them your details, and you're underway creating magic like we're doing here. Burrow is the hockey equipment and apparel company. They are the industry leader in technology, performance, and value. And the V350 stick is a stick that you have to get in your hands if you're a hockey player. It's the lightest stick on the market, most explosive. You're going to be able to score a ton of goals and be the star of the show there. Pampas Impossibilities, they sell dried floral arrangements, and do installations. Fantastic company. You can find a ton of details on CompleteSportsMedia.com. And don't forget Forever Living, the aloe vera company for health and beauty products. And I'll say it again, CompleteSportsMedia.com. Go there, click on our Partners and Sponsors tab. You'll be able to find discounts and ability to purchase products from our great partners and sponsors. So NBA, okay, yeah, you're right. It has been going bonkers. Pretty amazing. I'm so surprised. This is the shortest off season in the NBA history, and I thought there might be some movement, but lately it's just been going bang, bang, bang. Every half an hour, I'm getting alerts on my phone. Oh, somebody else is signed. Somebody else has been traded. Really cool. The Lakers have bolstered a lineup that they won the NBA championship with. And here's some of the odds at Vegas today I saw. The Lakers are the favorite to win it all. Brooklyn's number 2, Milwaukee 3, Clippers 4, Celtics 5, Heat, Mavs, and Raptors round out those top 8. So a lot of those powerhouses that we saw. I'm sort of surprised to see the Heat down in 6th there, but yeah. What do you think of that list so far?
That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
That's pretty accurate. Like that's literally, those are the top 8 teams in the league for sure. So yeah, I would agree with that list wholeheartedly. Those are the teams that you're looking at that have a chance, have a shot at getting the championship. But definitely, Lakers should be number 1, first and foremost.
What did you think of the acquisitions by the Lakers, getting Schroeder, getting Marc Gasol, Montrezl Harrell, Wesley Matthews? Really, a lot of really, really great moves there.
Their team has definitely improved from last year with those additions to their team. But for sure, by far and away, the team is better than what they were last year. Savvy moves, smart moves, and you got savvy veterans, smart veterans that now are with the Lakers. And then with LeBron captaining that team along with AD as his wingman, as a sidekick, yeah, they're looking good. Yeah. They're looking really, really, really good.
The Clippers were one of the busiest teams last year heading in, tried to bolster the lineup and try to compete against the Lakers. They just lost Montrezl Harrell, who was, top 6 man of the year candidate. But they replaced him with Serge Ibaka, which was a huge move, taking him out of Toronto. I think they got to make some more moves, but what do you think so far?
Serge Ibaka, great player, not quite at the level as Montrezl Harrell, because Montrezl Harrell's on his way up. And then Serge Ibaka is, I would say he's declining a little bit because he's long in the tooth. He's been in the league for a long time, but still a very, very good player. So that was a great addition to the team to replace what Montrezl Harrell brought to the team. So I'm curious to see the next moves that the Clippers make, because they do need to make some more moves for sure. So yeah, and let's see what else they got going on, because at least for the Clippers, they still got Kawhi and they still got Paul George, so they're good.
Yeah.
at least in this.
The Atlanta Hawks made a lot of moves over the last few days. They signed Bogdan Bogdanovic to a 4-year, $72 million offer sheet. The Kings can match. I think they got till sometime mid-afternoon tomorrow to match the offer sheet. But a bold move by them to try to get a great shooter. If Trae Young and him can be in that backcourt, I think they're going to be pretty lethal.
Yeah, they're going to be super lethal. I don't know if the Kings have the cap space to get him now. They'll be pushing it, really pushing it to get him. So I'll be curious to see if they do try to match him, because they would be paying a lot more money than they initially wanted to through that failed sign and trade or whatever they tried to do, which was just blew up in their face.
Yeah, I was surprised that did blow up in their face. Yeah, it was strange. I'm gonna have to get into some more details there, but yeah, they've added Rajon Rondo, Danilo Gallinari, Chris Dunn, Tony Snell, Solomon Hill, quite a few players to that Atlanta roster. Yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing them really retooling and getting an opportunity at the playoffs this year.
Yeah, because that's a new team. They got a new team. It's a brand new team. So I'm curious to see actually what those group of players can do for the Hawks going forward with Trae Young. That's always there, their superstar and stuff. Like, it's a brand new team. So it should be interesting to see if they can make some noise now with these new players.
Yeah. I want to get into some more talk about free agency and all that, but there was a historic day for the NBA players. They met with Pope Francis at the Vatican today, and they talked about social justice issues. I was blown away, and it was actually the Pope that called and asked if they would come and meet him.
I don't know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Oh my goodness! Like, wow, man, wow. Yeah. If that doesn't get your attention, nothing will. Sure got my attention. That is freaking amazing. Yeah. It's amazing that this Pope is that forward thinking to say, I want to be involved with this. I want to get on board. Things need to change, and I want to be part of that change. I think that's fantastic, awesome news.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think it was really put together really last minute. He called and said, I've got a time, maybe like a 1 o'clock tomorrow. Can you come? And so they threw 5 guys in a jet and flew over there. Kyle Korver, Sterling Brown, Marco Bellinelli, Anthony Tolliver, and Jonathan Isaac were the guys. I like that 2 guys from the Bucks were part of it, Korver and Brown. I really especially like that because they were the guys, the Bucks were the team that said, we are having a hiatus here. We're not going to play this game. This latest shooting in Kenosha, Jacob Blake, we're not having it. We're stopping. We got to take a pause here and say enough's enough. And so, yeah, it was great to see a couple of the Bucks being able to go in and have this opportunity to talk to the Pope.
Yeah, because they were front and center for all of this from the beginning. And for them to be representative of not just their team, but of the league, it's very fitting. It's very, very fitting. So I couldn't be prouder of these young men to do what they've done. And then also, too, I couldn't be happier that the Pope actually went out of his way to reach out to them to say, this is what I'd like to do.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Very awesome. The one thing about Sterling Brown that I was happy he was included was I think it was about a year ago. I don't have the date in front of me, but he went to a Walgreens pharmacy, and in his haste to get in and get something, he parked in a handicapped spot, and he ran into the store, bought himself something, came out of the store, and there was police on scene. They started having an altercation with him. He ended up getting tasered, beat up, and arrested for a parking violation. And they actually just settled his he had a lawsuit against him. They just settled for $750,000 given to Brown for the treatment that he received. So he can speak to social justice concerns firsthand. Over a parking violation, tasered, arrested, beat up, treated really badly. Really happy that he was there to be able to, speak on how a lot of black men are treated by the American police force.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter about your social standing. If you're black, you're black, and then they'll take the boots to you, no matter your status as a sports celebrity, as a celebrity, as just a normal guy just trying to go to a freaking convenience store. They don't care. It doesn't matter. And so it was cool. Unfortunately, I'm just going to say this, Darren, you probably should have got more money. $750,000. I'm just going to say it right now, a little light.
True.
But at the end of the day, you know what? At least justice was served in that respect. And then hopefully now, I want to believe that cops are now put on notice that doing this bullshit no longer acceptable anymore.
Yeah.
It's no longer acceptable. The spotlight is firmly on you guys. Hopefully you can clean it up. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, well, let's get back to talking a little bit about the free agency and different signs and trades and things like that. Let's speak about the Raptors. They lost their two centers, Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka. They did sign the Canadian Chris Boucher, who seems to be coming on. They've also signed yesterday Aaron Baines and today Alex Len. So serviceable centers shouldn't be too much of a drop off other than Ibaka. I thought Marc Gasol is getting a little too old. I thought he looked pretty bad in the playoffs. Whenever they put him in there, I just didn't think he had it much anymore. So I don't think he's a massive loss other than defensively, and he can still shoot the three quite well. But I think these two additions of Len and Baines might make up for it pretty well.
Yeah, and also too, Baines is a great three-point shooter. So I'd say out of their big men, like that's an improvement for their three-point shooting. Baines is really has turned himself into a very proficient big man as a three-point shooter. So I'd say, yeah, and then also too with the development of Chris Boucher, if he continues to keep developing, then there's not going to be much of a drop-off at all. But hopefully the young man still keeps developing along the right way, and I'm certain that the Raptors staff is making sure that his development is staying on point.
Yeah. I was really happy to see that they were able to come to terms with Fred VanVleet, 4 years, $85 million, the largest contract ever handed out to an undrafted player in NBA history. He set a standard, and now a lot of guys aren't drafted in those first two rounds that they only have in the NBA. Have something to shoot for. Hey, he did it. Why can't I?
Oh, he earned that. He earned that. He earned that. He earned that through his unbelievable performance in the playoffs. He didn't play very well up until the point where his son was born. And then he played like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to see.
Yeah.
So he got that bag. He got paid. And it's great to see. He earned every bit of that money. Every bit.
Yeah, he sure did. Yeah, super excited for him. Okay, the 2017 class is coming up last year of their contract. So most teams, once a guy's been in the league 3 years, they get a gauge on him. Usually, if one of their top picks, they put him to a super max extension. Max extensions were signed to this weekend to Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, and the guy that they're wondering if he's going to get signed to a deal is Kuzma, and then Bam Adebayo. And I think Bam has definitely earned this money, but what I've heard is Bam and Giannis have the same agent, and the Heat are really trying very, very hard to get Giannis. So they've asked Bam to wait a little bit before he signs this deal so that there's enough cap room that they can get Giannis under the cap. Pretty kind of exciting news. I sure hope this isn't a mistake by Bam, and they don't pay him the kind of money he deserves. But kind of interesting news to hear about this agent relationship that might work into Miami getting Giannis.
Yeah, they're greedy. They're real greedy. They want it all, eh? They really do. I think that's amazing that they're using the agent to try to entice Giannis to come on over. And that's really cool that they actually have a relationship with Bam to say, hey, we're not going to screw you, big guy, but we're just going to need you to do this. and Bam is good with it, obviously, because there's a certain trust factor, I believe, with all those guys in the Heat and in the front office, because they're all down with it. And Pat Riley is as good as it gets when it comes to making deals and taking care of his players. So.
Yeah, has he ever? Yeah. It's kind of cool, and we'll see how it shakes out in the coming days. Last few signings to talk about. Jason Hayward signed a 4-year, $120 million deal with Charlotte. When he opted out of his $34 million contract with the Celtics the other day, everybody was like, "This is the guy incredibly nuts? Like, he's $35 million and he's injury prone. What the heck is he doing?" And I guess he knew what he was doing, because Michael Jordan and the Hornets stepped up and paid him $120 for 4. Not a good move, I don't believe, by Charlotte, but I think they got to overpay to bring free agents there, and Hayward got paid big time.
Hayward is smart because he knew something that we did. Oh, I'm gonna get paid. Don't you worry about me. You don't leave $34 million on the table without knowing where your next paycheck or your next meal is coming. And he knew that. He absolutely knew that. So congrats to him. Yeah. And I hope that he plays up to the standard of whatever he's being paid. I don't know if he can with those injuries and stuff, but we shall see. We shall see. And also, too, like you said before, you got to pay to play, and you're going to have to pay some of these players more than you would like, just so that they come over and play for your team.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I saw just late this afternoon, DeMarcus Cousins signed a 1-year deal with the Rockets. So hopefully he can get his career on track with some injury troubles himself. No details on the money there. As I mentioned, all those extensions. Fox got $163 million for 5 years, and with incentives, it can go up to $195 million for 5 years. All he has to do is make an all-star team, and probably just kiss a baby or two, and he's got $200 million over the next 5 years. So big money these guys are getting. Holy cow!
Yeah, it's insane. Actually, it's real. It's like, wow, $195 million. That's enough to put food on the table. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's gonna get nuts over the next coming days. We'll see what else shakes out, but it's fun. It's been a really busy off season here, and training camps start next week. I can't believe basketball's just around the corner. We're just a little more than a month away from Christmas. We're a month away from the opening of games in the NBA, and we're back at it. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, it's amazing how quickly things are moving. I can't wait for it. I'm sure some of the guys could be like, well, I could have used another month, but sorry, guys. This is the way it is, and also too, like, they're moving this quick. Let's be honest here, because of the contract that they have with NBC and all the other studios and stuff. That's why they're trying to get back on track, get back in there, so that they have to honor those contracts going forward, right?
Sure, yeah. Well, they're such big, massive TV deals, It's that's why these guys get so much money. They've got tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, even billions of dollars now coming into NBA owners' pockets. So players want to get paid, and there's just the last couple seasons, it's more shocking than I think I've ever been shocked by money before in the NBA. It's just getting to be incredible that guys are making up to $50 million a year.
Yeah, and then also too, you're talking about sometimes role players are making 16, 17 million. 16, 17 million. That's how much it costs to get a really good role player on your team. It's not bad, actually. It's not bad at all.
Yeah. Yeah. If I had kids, I'd be stretching them out. I'd be putting them on some stretcher. I'd be gluing a basketball to their hand and making them play every day because I need to get paid.
All you got to do is say, son, I want to retire. So you got to play.
Exactly.
You got to play.
Yeah. It's crazy money. It's insane. Yeah, it's so wild. Okay, well, great. We were able to fit in some basketball. Let's turn to the UFC. UFC 255 was a pretty great card. I was pretty impressed with what they put on deck. 2 championship fights at the top of the card. And Deiveson Figueiredo proved that he is best guy in the world by far. Didn't even take him 2 minutes to dispatch Alex Perez and, say next.
Yeah, he really did do that. And I just want to point this out. Alex Perez actually didn't do anything wrong in this fight. They didn't do anything wrong. He didn't mess up. He didn't zig when he should have zagged. He didn't do any of those things. Figueiredo was just that good that once that transition, that scramble happened on the ground, he turned into the guillotine choke. And Alex Perez almost had his head popped out. But Figueiredo's squeeze is so strong that he had to tap.
Yeah.
Had to.
Yeah, it sure looked like he was going to pop out of there. And, he almost did. And then Figueiredo had to stand up or sit up and then just put a little more pressure. And once that upward pressure came onto it, he tried a couple more times to get his head out and it wasn't coming out, or else he was going to sleep. He had to tap. Yeah,
he had to tap. And I'm just amazed at the power that this man has, like the strength that he has. It boggles the mind. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Unbelievable, man.
Like you said, Perez shouldn't hang his head. He's a great fighter. Looked really good coming into this. He's the first Dana White Contender Series alum to get an opportunity at a belt. I think he'll get another shot again down the road. Looked great. This was supposed to be Cody Garbrandt's fight, but he was injured. Last-minute replacement. Brandon Moreno was number 1, and he was pretty mad that, first of all, he got passed over for Cody. And then when Cody fell out because of an injury, then he still got passed over by Perez. But guess what? They signed the deal, and they're fighting December 16th. Figueiredo and Moreno are fighting for the belt. UFC 256, December 16th.
That has to be the quickest turnaround for a title fight I've ever heard of. That absolutely has to be the quickest. I've never even heard of that.
It's incredible.
That's a thing.
Blew my mind. Yeah, they both called each other out. Moreno won on this card against Brandon Royval, and they both called each other out, said, let's do this. And UFC just, turned around and signed the deal and made it part of this card coming up in December. So, less than a month away. This is cool. Like, suddenly the flyweight division is super exciting, and they almost went away from this division. Mighty Mouse was getting a lot of trouble. They said, he's not exciting enough. These guys don't knock each other out enough. And once Mighty Mouse moved out of the picture, they said, I don't know. We're thinking of just folding this completely. But there's been a big resurgence in this division, and it's pretty cool. We're getting to see 2 title fights in the same division in 2 consecutive months.
Well, yes, and also too, let's be honest. The little guys they're incredibly skilled. They're incredibly skilled, and Deiveson is he's must-watch TV. He really is. Yeah. And I think now they finally said, well, you know what? We're gonna have to market the hell out of this guy because look what he can do. Yeah. It's awesome. He keeps yelling at the TV, keeps knocking people out or choking them out. Fantastic. Let's keep pushing him, and they should push him.
They should, yeah. He tied Mighty Mouse with the most finishes in UFC flyweight history with 7. He's looking, really great. I'm looking forward to this fight. Brandon Moreno beat Yusier Formiga, the only guy that actually beat Figueiredo before. So I think they're going to play up on that a lot. Say, hey, you know, the only guy that's ever been able to beat Figueiredo, boom, I've taken him out. He was easy. I'm going to be able to get Figueiredo out like that. Boom. We'll see the trash talking begin.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And none of that stuff is real, but yes, the trash talk is going to be fantastic.
Cody Garbrandt came out today and talked a little bit about his troubles. The bicep tear that he had was the reason why he had to drop out of this fight, but he also contracted COVID. And he said he's had a really hard time recovering from COVID. He actually has blood clots now. He got pneumonia, and he said he has a big mental fog, and it's just feeling like it's just constantly there. He can't concentrate, has a hard time training. These blood clots, they're quite concerned about it, so they put him on some blood thinners. And this pneumonia was something that seems to be persisting. And I've heard a lot of these types of problems from people with COVID. It's not just a flu that you get over in a few days, week. There's lingering effects on and on and on.
Yeah, and that just goes to show just how dangerous this thing is if you contract it. You don't know what it's going to do to you. And look at Cody Garbrandt. He's an elite fighter. He's an elite athlete. And this is what it's done to him. So you got to take this stuff seriously, and you got to protect yourself, man.
Yeah. Let
this be a lesson to everybody. Protect yourself. Wear your mask.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's getting bad out there. It's there's COVID setting records in most communities around the world. The U.S. just had 1 million COVID cases in a week. So, it's getting scary. We're setting records. Most provinces are setting records every day, the most COVID cases. There was, I think, 1,900 over this past weekend with 17 deaths. So it's bad around here. It's bad almost everywhere. And yeah, protect yourself and protect all your fellow human beings out there. Just wear your mask, keep your social distance circle really tight. And let's eradicate this soon. Let's get rid of it.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it's just brutal. Yeah. The co-main event featured your favorite fighter, Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko. She didn't do anything to diminish her elite status as one of the greatest women fighters in the world. And you must have really enjoyed being able to see her work her magic again.
It's such a pleasure. Just such a pleasure to watch her work. She's just so good. And then also, too, she actually took it to the ground. She grappled her. She went into Jennifer Maia's realm and beat her at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she could have made this fight a lot easier for herself by just doing some more stand-up and picking her apart at distance, but she didn't want to do that. I think she really wanted to make a statement with her wrestling, and she sure did. But what really impressed me with this fight was Jennifer Maia. She was incredibly game.
Yeah.
She was better than what I thought she would be. She won the second round in this fight. She didn't win any other rounds after that, but she won the second round.
Yeah.
And so I was very, very impressed with Maia, with the game that she brought to Shevchenko, and the fact that she lasted the entirety of the fight.
Yeah. No, it was great, wasn't it? Yeah, it was really great. Yeah. It was nice to see. I wasn't sure, not too many people have given Valentina too much troubles, but Maia, yeah, you're right. She won that second round and looked good doing it. And it was a unanimous decision, but great fight all around. I saw some of the analysts rate their top 5 female fighters of all time. I'm going to give my list and then see where your list comes in. I've got Amanda Nunes at number 1. I've got Valentina at number 2. Then I've got Ronda Rousey 3, Cyborg 4, and I think Joanna is 5, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. So what about yourself? How would you rate the girls all time?
And I guess I'd have to go Nunes first, but I don't want to do it. I want to go Valentina first. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She's beat her twice. Come on, she's beat her twice. You have to say.
First one, I don't know about that.
Okay, true that. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, I'm gonna agree with you. Like your list is my list. That would be it. That would be my top 5 for sure.
Cool. Yeah, no, it's great to see them fight so well, and we'll see what's next for Valentina. They've talked about possibly Chuchagian possibly next. I guess things will shake out in the next little while. It was really cool to see her sister fight on the same card. It was the first time 2 sisters have ever fought on a card, and Antonina actually got $50K for her performance. And that was nice that she was able to start off, get a victory. Valentina was probably pretty happy because imagine if her sister would have lost and then she has to go into the cage and try to get a victory. It would have probably put a little bit of a damper on things. But to see both sisters get the win, it was pretty cool.
Yes, it was very cool. And then in her post-fight interview, Valentina even said her mom won an event as well in fighting. So this is what I learned about the Shevchenkos. They're just a bunch of killers. Like the women are a bunch of brutal killers. And any man that's attached to that family doesn't have a chance in hell. I'm sorry. You really don't. You don't have a chance, buddy.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah, tough women there. Wow. Kyrgyzstan, who would have thought? Growing up, I always heard about the big bad Russians, but I wasn't expecting them to be the women UFC fighters that we've seen come out of there.
Oh yeah, man! Like they're just amazing. Just amazing. It's just super tough, but so skilled, so incredibly skilled. It's just, it's like I said before. It's a pleasure to watch her work. It really is.
Yeah. The fight right before that, a welterweight battle. It was supposed to be a welterweight battle between Tim Means and Platinum Mike Perry. Tim Means got the Dirty Bird nickname. I'm not sure where that came from, but I think his nickname should be Business. Tim Means Business. Why wouldn't that be his nickname, the Dirty Bird? But good to see the Dirty Bird win. Not a fan of Mike Perry, never have been. Man, he just did a few more things this week that really solidified my distaste for him. He posted himself eating pizza, eating cheeseburgers, posting to Tim Means saying, I can eat whatever the hell I want. I'm still going to kick your, behind. And he didn't make weight. He missed it by 4.5 pounds, lost 30% of his purse, but still not enough. I think it was super disrespectful to Means, UFC, and the fighters all around just acting that brutal as you're trying to make a weight cut. Tim Means cut the weight, got on there, and beat him in a decision. I was really happy to see that result.
Oh, so was I. I was super happy to see it. But also too, I'm just more impressed with Tim Means' professionalism after the fight is done, saying, "Well, you just gave me $30,000, so cool, thank you so much." And then also too, he gave him extra added motivation. It's like, oh, so you wanna act the fool? You wanna show me that you're eating pizza and not taking this seriously? Cool, don't take it seriously. But I will get my hand raised by the end of the night, and that's exactly what he did.
Perry decided to go without a corner again. He had his pregnant girlfriend, and he had a buddy of his from the hood join him. No camp wants to take him. I was wanting to hear Dana White say, "Yeah, we're going to drop him," but Dana White, didn't say that, unfortunately, and he's given him another chance. Perry's 14-7 on his career, but he's only 7-7 in the UFC. I'm not sure why he keeps getting these opportunities and chances. It's not too great. He gives fighters a bad name, in my opinion.
Yeah, but also too, unfortunately with Dana, he likes these characters, so to speak, right? Because he feels that it brings eyeballs to the TV, and maybe it does. I think it's the wrong kind of eyeballs. I don't think you need those kind of people watching your product, or a person like that bringing your product down, which is what he's doing. Yeah. He did bring a good fight to Tim Means, but at the same time, this is not a dude that I think represents your company well at all. Because what are you doing? Why don't you have a proper corner? And it speaks more to the fact that none of the Caps want to take him. That speaks more to the fact of what this man's character is, his temperament is. It's garbage. If nobody wants to take him in, that's not a good look. That's not a good look at all.
No, he's been accused of assault a couple of times in the past month. Yeah, he's just got to get himself together and be professional and take this seriously. And yeah, I'm going to interject real quick. Rams just won 27-24, 7-3, tied with the Seahawks, actually ahead of the Seahawks because of a victory earlier. So 7-4 for the Bucks. So next week, Monday Night Football, Seattle Seahawks and Philadelphia Eagles. Carson Wentz is looking pretty bad, so I wouldn't think Seahawks should have too much trouble next Monday.
No, man, they can't. Eagles are garbage,
Yeah. I really like this. I really like what the UFC did here. They put this women's flyweight fight on the card just in case one of the main event combatants got hurt, got COVID, had a reason for pulling out. So this flyweight fight was between Caitlin Chukagian and Cynthia Calvillo. Calvillo had just come in recently, got into the flyweight division, had a really good performance coming in. But Chukagian looked, to be the much better fighter in this one and took the decision victory.
Oh, yeah, man. Chukagian used her length and fought Calvillo at distance very effectively, to the point that Calvillo could not get inside like her punching range and do work on the inside, which is what she needed to do. But she could not do it because Chukagian was on point, and her combinations and just basically, like I said before, fighting at distance was absolutely superb. Picked her apart. Calvillo didn't actually have a chance throughout this entirety of this fight.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you sure did. I made big notes of that. Kept it at distance. Definitely were significant strikes were way up and was never in any trouble. One thing that I really noticed also was Mark Henry was yelling out instructions, and Chukagian was doing them immediately. It's so great with no fans. They're able to hear their corners. And she's probably one of the fighters I've noticed the most being able to exactly implement what he was calling out. He was calling out some things that, we didn't know, because he said Merlot and he said, some funny names and stuff. Pinot, yeah. But we could hear it. She could hear it, she said. And she was able to really win this fight. And I think she deserves a shot at the belt very, very soon, if not right away.
Yeah, and also too, you have to remember, like she had this performance after a devastating loss to Andrade.
Yeah.
That kind of came out of nowhere. So it was an excellent win. Excellent win. Like her flow state and how she was popping that jab and flowing in from like combinations, kicks, absolutely superb.
Yeah.
Superb performance.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Andrade. That's somebody rumored to fight Shevchenko next. And there was rumors that Lauren Murphy and Chukagian will be next on the docket for the UFC to put that together. So, let's hope those fights happen. I think both of those would be really magical, and I think very highly contested. Okay, so now we go to a legend in the fight game, Shogun Hua. Former light heavyweight champion, been in the UFC for many, many, many years, been in some of the greatest wars I've ever seen. The Dan Henderson first fight, one of the most favorite fights for me ever. The whole entire place that I was at watching that was standing, cheering, clapping the whole 25 minutes. It was phenomenal. He fought a younger, tougher guy maybe now, and Paul Craig won. Just can't get enough of hearing Paul Craig talk. Just love that Scottish accent he's got, and nice to see him get the big victory.
Oh, yeah, and a dominant victory at that. Dominant victory. His wrestling was on point, and eventually, I believe that was in the first. Yeah, in the first round, he finally was able to flatten him out.
Yeah.
Completely flatten him out. And Shogun never taps to strikes, but he had to tap to that because of the positioning of where Paul Craig had him, flattened out, up against the cage. He had nowhere to go. Nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It was a great dominant win by Paul Craig.
Something made me laugh about this is Joe Rogan saying, I feel a little bad for you because Shogun seemed to oil check you. Oh, that made me laugh. I couldn't believe they were talking about oil checking after. But, that was actually round 2 that he flattened him out. But, he was just showing superior grappling skills. And man, I cannot believe how good Paul Craig is on the ground. That guy is just a masterful performer. And, once Shogun was flattened out, that was game over.
Oh, well, it was game over. And Shogun knew it. That's why he tapped as quickly as he did. He had nothing left for him after he got to that position. Nothing.
I heard today that they're trying to put together Paul Craig against Jimmy Crute, which will be a hell of a cool battle. And hopefully that actually happens. And two guys from over across the pond. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, that'd be great fight. Fantastic matchmaking. Keep it up, boys. Keep it up.
Okay, well, the featured fight for the prelim card was a fight I mentioned earlier, Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval. Brandon Moreno was able to get the knockout with 1 second left in the first round and solidified his #1 standing in the flyweight division and got himself a title shot December 16th, UFC 256. Super impressive performance for Moreno and another great flyweight fight that's just so fun to watch. These guys are so fast. They can make such transitions, and it's just awesome to watch. I'm glad that they never went away from this flyweight division.
No, I'm glad that they didn't shutter it like they did plan to, because these guys are incredibly skilled. Unfortunately, though, in this fight, Royval didn't get a chance to show all the tools in his kit because of the injury that he suffered. I believe he dislocated his shoulder in that fight, and he was in an intense amount of pain that you could tell after the fight was done. Yeah. Intense. And then it did eventually switch over, and you saw the coach pop it back in. I've never dislocated my shoulder, but that didn't look like that felt very good.
No, unfortunately, I have a couple of times, and while it's out, it's actually better when it gets back in. Oh man, but just getting that sensation of just coming back. He honestly could have fought if that lasted 1 more second and they didn't notice, and he went back and got it popped in. He could have fought that second round. Damn, it's just too bad that 1 more second on the clock didn't happen. I don't think the ref would have allowed it to continue because he would have noticed. But it's just unfortunate turn of events there, because I was looking forward to 15 minutes of fighting between these three guys. It would have been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, because they're great competitors, and it was shaping up to be a great fight until that unfortunate bit of business happened to Royval.
Yeah. Well, Joaquin Buckley came out. We talked at length about his incredible Matrix-like knockout kick of Impa Kasangage recently. Jordan Wright, the Beverly Hills Ninja, said, that was a fluke. I'm going to be able to take him out. And Buckley proved that the power that he's got. He was a little more patient this time, and he came out, had Wright in all sorts of trouble in the end of the first round, and then took him out really early, 18 seconds into the second round. Man, Buckley's a powerful guy.
Yes. Well, just look at the man. He is built powerfully. And also, too, you'd think with all that muscle mass that he'd gas. No, he's actually in the pinnacle of shape, because he always comes in. I think the last 2 fights, he's come in a couple pounds underneath the 185-pound limit, meaning that he's in as good a shape as he possibly can be. He doesn't cut weight. He just fights at the weight that he's at.
Yeah.
And I think that should show a lot of fighters, this is what you can do if you just decide, I'm just going to fight at the weight that I'm at, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, you know? And
you and I have been talking about that for months and months and months. Yeah, it's, you know, it doesn't make sense that these guys are depleting themselves so badly and having to try to get that strength and try to put that weight back on. Yeah, Buckley might be showing the way because holy crap. Yeah, he only weighed in at 182 and 4 pounds under the limit. And, but man, did he ever look big and powerful? Like, you can't get much more power than that, can you?
No, I don't think so. I really don't think so. You know, like he almost had Wright out at the end of the first. And then once he came out in the second, you could see that Jordan Wright wasn't right at all.
No.
He was not right, man.
Yeah.
And then Buckley made quick work of him in the second round.
I don't think I saw the corner interaction that I heard DC and Daniel Cormier and Joe Rogan talking about. Did you notice the corner? They said that he was slurring his words. Yeah. That's a bad sign.
That's a really bad sign.
Yeah.
It's a really bad sign because you're still concussed from what happened to you just a couple seconds ago. And he did not recover. Like it was clear to me, clear as day. Obviously clear to Buckley too. Oh, he's not recovered yet. I'm going to be able to take him out right now. And he did.
If you were his corner man and he's slurring his words, are you sending him back out there?
Oh, great question. So, because the question is, do you really care about your fighter or do you care about the money?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I myself, if I see that, oh man, very tough because you have to take into consideration your fighter and you have to take into consideration, does he have that recuperation ability? Is he going to be able to Wolverine up and be able to just get back in there? Personally, obviously with hindsight's 2020, probably wouldn't have just trotted him out there, just would have thrown in the towel because clearly he had nothing left to give, right?
No.
He didn't have anything.
No.
So I don't know. Maybe we'll see from other corners if you see their fighter slur or they can't even stand or sit properly on their stool, done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because all they're going to do is incur more damage, and it could possibly be very, very, very bad.
Yeah. Yeah, we had that situation with Robert Drysdale over in the summertime, and you know, his fighter was giving up on the stool, kept saying, you know, I don't got it, I need to get out of here, I quit. He just kept saying, you know, call it, and Drysdale didn't, and there was a ton of controversy there. But yeah, I don't think I would have sent him back in there. You know, he had taken a bad beating. He didn't look right. If he's slurring his words, you got to think concussion. And if a guy's got a concussion, he's actually not going to remember. You know, he's not going to remember what just happened. And so you're putting him out there. I could tell that Buckley knew he was compromised and, you know, went and tacked him and knocked him out pretty severely.
Yeah, because like, you know, like when you deal with these concussions, every fighter is a little bit different. For example, the Korean Zombie doesn't remember half of his fight, but he fought it. But then he fights like a zombie anyways, so nobody really noticed, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a very hard line for a coach to figure out like when to call it and when not to call it, right? Because at the end of the day, they're warriors, and you want to give your warrior the best shot at trying to win the fight, always. So
that's true. Buckley got $50K for that performance, and definitely deserved it. And after losing to Kevin Holland, has looked phenomenal last couple fights, and can't wait to see him fight again. Hopefully they can run him out there soon. Maybe before the end of the year, get him onto a card. Man, he's incredible to watch.
Oh, yeah. He most certainly is. He's built like a tank, and he hits like a tank.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, well, we briefly mentioned Valentina Shevchenko. She beat Ariane Lipsky, who was coming in looking really good. She had a really amazing performance the fight before this. But Antonina was the better fighter and got a knockout 4.5 minutes into the second round. Just nasty ground and pound. 11-time Muay Thai champion, but she looked great on the ground as well. And wow, these Shevchenko girls. I think we've got another amazing girl in that flyweight division. Obviously, she'll have to move out of that division to get the belt, but holy cow, pretty impressive. $50K for her performance too.
Yeah, well, it's almost as if the sisters decided, we'll just grapple. You're going to grapple, I'm going to grapple, and then we're going to win.
Brazilian girls,
good?
And let's take on these Brazilian girls. We'll take them out at their own game.
Yeah, and they did, because that's Lipski's game too. She was supposed to be better in the grappling positions than Shevchenko. She was not. She clearly was not.
No.
Shevchenko dominated her in every one of those positions. Solid win, dominant win by Shevchenko.
Yeah, it was impressive. What do you think about the decision between Daniel Rodriguez and Nicholas Dalby? I kind of was leaning towards Rodriguez winning that decision, but unanimous decision for Dalby. It was a close fight, but I thought Rodriguez might have got the better of him.
I'm going to be honest, man. I thought Dalby actually won that fight.
Okay.
I thought he won it because he just had better movement, better in and out movement, and he picked him apart at this. He picked him apart better at distance. Rodriguez did have his moments, but for me, I thought he didn't have enough of said moments, and that's why Dalby got the win.
I saw a tweet come up on the screen, and it was from a sports book, and a guy had put down $15,000 to win $77,000. So he had this. He had wins by Moreno, Craig, both Shevchenko sisters, and Daniel Rodriguez.
Oh, so close.
Oh, crap, eh?
Oh, my goodness. That would have been a huge payoff. You should have just taken mine and picked Dalby. Then he would have probably had it. But, oh, man, that sucks. That sucks.
Oh, geez, eh? Losing out on the 15K. There was another tweet that talked about the betting, and I think the guy put up, I'm trying to remember how much he had to put up. He had to put up 100,000. No, how much would he put up? He was only going to win $600 off of his bet, and he had to put up maybe like 20,000 or something like that. And he was only going to win $600. And it was like, oh my God, this guy is insane. Like, who would do it? Why would you do it?
Why would you do that?
Yeah. It was the Shevchenko fight. It was 2,000-1 odds. And he put it up. Luckily he won, but Jesus Christ, like a lot of money to risk for a little payoff. Not much of a payoff at all.
Yeah. Hey. Play within your reasons, people. Don't drink so much, okay?
Yeah, no doubt. 2,000-1 odds. Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's just touch on the last few fights. Alan Jouban, Jared Gooden, decision by Jouban win. There was a headbutt early on that Jouban suffered, and I think it sort of made him a little bit cautious. But, I think he should have attempted some takedowns a little sooner, and I think he would have won easier. But he ground out a win eventually. And, what did you think of this one?
Well, I thought that Jouban looked great. Actually hurt Gooden quite a bit. Gooden seemed like the stronger fighter throughout the course of the fight, and he tagged Jouban quite a bit. But I thought because of Jouban's veteran savvy and superior footwork, that's why he got the win.
Yeah. Jouban almost made him tap and put him to sleep with the guillotine choke, but he got out of it, and another big win. The fight the beginning of the night between Dacus that wasn't actually the very first fight. Dacus and Stoltz, the German guy. What do you think about this decision win by Dacus?
Oh, Dacus looks like he controlled the fight. He was a dominant win. He was never put in any sort of compromised position whatsoever in this fight. Just like his brother, he's dominating, man.
Yeah.
He's on the rise. He's on the rise for sure.
Yeah, these are two guys that came out of the Dana White Contender Series, and they're looking very strong, both of them. Yeah, it was a very dominating performance. He's so much better on the feet. I was really surprised that he was constantly pressuring him up against the cage, because he was able to pick him apart and keep him at distance when they were standing. But yeah, he just wanted, it just seemed like he wanted to grind it out and get some of that clinch control time. And but yeah, he was the better fighter that night for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Dawkins looked fantastic, and Stoltzfus didn't really have much for him in this fight at all.
The first fight of the night actually got fight of the night. Both guys got 50K, and holy cow, was that ever an entertaining battle. So glad I turned it on right at the beginning and was able to see the whole entire thing. Man, did you love this fight as much as I did?
Great fight, man. Great fight. Rock'em sock'em robots, pretty much, man. They just went after it. Yeah. Kosi almost had Politnikov out in the first round, but Politnikov, super tough.
Wow.
Hung in there.
Wow.
And then all of a sudden, in the next couple of rounds, Kosi is now gassed. He's tired. Doesn't have much left in the tank, and Politnikov just came on and blitzed him. It was a great fight. Great fight.
Yeah, that
really got that win.
Kosi, yeah, he looks super tough, really muscular, really had Politnikov in a lot of trouble early on, but he was able to just weather the storm and then turn it around. He had a really amazing spinning back fist that hurt Kosi. He was able to just take it to him and pick him apart as the fight wore on. Man, he's a talented fighter, both making their UFC debuts. I was really impressed, and I was blown away. He was born in Hong Kong, so yeah, it didn't make sense. I'm like, oh, okay, interesting place for a guy named Palatnikov to be born in Hong Kong. But yeah, it was a great way to start the night, and awesome for them to get 50K each. First fight of the night, another 11 fights had to go on, and they must have been like, oh God, I want to get that money. And Dana White still rewarded them with it. It was great.
Well, it's one heck of a way to start off your UFC careers for both these men, and one heck of a way to start off the UFC period. It was a great fight.
It was one of the rounds of the year, that first round. Yeah, I can't wait to watch it. I never got a chance to watch it today, but I'm going to watch it this week for sure. And yeah, that was fun. I tweeted, I went on social media and started letting people know, man, you got to watch this fight and you got to watch this whole card, really stacked card. And 255 did not disappoint. A lot of really good moments. One of the best moments for me was the Hall of Fame induction of Mark Ratner. That was really cool to see, and recognizing a builder, a guy that was able to get sanctioning in all 50 states, was able to get sanctioning in other countries around the world. He helped get sanctioning here in Vancouver. It was very, very, very long time coming till we finally got sanctioning here. And he was a boxing guy, a guy you've known from the boxing world for a really long time. Came over to the UFC, a really smart move by Dana White and the Fertittas to bring him in. And he's been an amazing pioneer for the sport and for the organization.
He brought legitimacy to the sport because of his name and because of who he is. So it was fantastic that they honored him with the respect that he's due by putting him in the Hall of Fame where he belongs.
Yeah. Yeah, he was at the Tyson Holyfield battle, the De La Hoya Mayweather. Yeah, he's been part of the organization for 15 years. What an amazing contribution. Finally getting New York on board. It was a lot of work. And yeah, I've seen this guy involved in the world of combat sports for my whole entire life. And yeah, I'm so glad. Definitely he was due, and I'm glad that they made it happen.
Yeah. No, I'm super happy, glad that they honored and respected this man as they should, and they put him in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, that's a wrap on 255. Next Saturday, Curtis Blades, Derek, the Black Beast, Lewis, going to be the main event of UFC Fight Night Vegas. What do you think we're going to see in this Battle of the Titans?
I think you're just going to see two Titans try to smash each other into the ground, into dust. And I'm really looking forward to Lewis being in better shape, like he promised. I don't know what the heck that's going to look like, but Curtis Blades better be ready, and I'm sure he will be, because it's going to be something else. I love it when Goliaths clash like this. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
I see Blades working for the takedown immediately, and if he secures it, I don't see Lewis winning this. It's just if he's going to be able to get the takedown. Blades is really good at grappling and should do that. I don't think it's smart to stand with Lewis. Yeah, do you see him being able to take him down and pound him out?
Well, yeah, that's Lewis's that's his Achilles heel, is being taken down, because then he doesn't usually get back up very well. Now, a slimmer Lewis that is going to use his quickness, don't know. Maybe he starts really throwing that knee up, uppercuts. Let's see what happens, right? Because if he's feinting that, and then Lewis has the quickness as a big man. He's super fast. He's quicker than what you realize that he actually is. So it's going to be a little bit of a chess match for sure. Yeah. But if Blades does secure the takedown, and I'm pretty sure he's just going to grind on him on that, Lewis has to be working on his takedown defense. Got to be working on that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's going to be fun. It's exciting. We've seen so many of these fight nights turn out to be great, and every Monday when we break them down, I'm like, wow, can't believe another great card came out of that. A lot of no names sometimes on these cards, but these guys are getting opportunities of a lifetime and coming in and having amazing performances. That fight of the night, this night proved it again. Two really unknowns to the regular UFC fan coming in with their debuts and both collecting big checks and impressing and starting the night off so well.
Oh yeah, man! Hey, hats off to the UFC for giving us these tremendous fights, weekend in and weekend out. I actually have to say, I think this is the longest stretch of UFCs consecutively that we've ever had.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have come at a better time, because a lot of us have to stay at home anyways. So cool.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that was fun, man. Really great as usual. I'm looking forward to the week ahead. We get 3 turkey games on Thursday, and hopefully they don't turn out to be turkeys, and we get some good battles. Obviously, some great football coming up on Sunday. I'm sure you and I will be tweeting back and forth to each other, or texting back and forth to each other, a lot of these NBA moves and a lot of things shaking out in the NBA, getting ready for training camp to open in a week. Can't believe it's already here. We had a really fun time watching those games in the bubble, and I guess they're going to pull it off and have another season coming really soon.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to it. I feel a little bit bad for the players that they had a very short off season, but not really, because now I get to see them back on the court again. So I'm going to be very selfish in this and say, yes, get back out there. Thank you.
I know, yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. So good. Okay, man. Well, thanks again, as always. This is my favorite hour and a half of the week, and we did it again. Thanks a lot. Hope your week goes really fast, and stay safe.
All right. You too, my friend. Thank you very much.
Okay, buddy. Cheers. Bye for now.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay. All right. That was fun. Yeah, always fun. Really enjoy that period. It was a long one tonight, but we had a lot to cover. And the Monday Nighters finished. It was a great game. And UFC and NBA, lots to talk about. Not much usually during the week, but 3 Thursday games. So enjoy the games, enjoy the podcast. Remember, go to CompleteSportsMedia.com and check out a lot of the podcast, all the things that we're up to, exciting guests that we have weekly, and guests that we've booked in for one-shot deals and things like that. So love you lots. Enjoy. Take care of yourself. Bye for now. See you again soon.